All right. Let me go ahead and spout my opinion about this whole business between Jason Unruhe and Caleb Maupin about socialism with American characteristics is bad. Okay. Then what's your plan, Jason? You mentioned reaching out to the lumpen proletariat in the United States and reaching out to, and supporting decolonization. That was basically his 2 points throughout the whole thing. He says, and not everyone's going to become millionaires, et cetera, et cetera. Or, excuse me, no one's going to become billionaires, everything else. Okay. The thing is, though, is when he talks about decolonization, he has talked to one tribe, or at least a representative of part of a tribe in Arizona. Okay. Does he talk to the Micmac tribe? Does he talk to these various other tribes, which may not believe him or may not follow with their doctrine as to how they view decolonization? I haven't heard anything about that. And maybe my view of the lumpen proletariat is a little ignorant. I usually just see it as gang members, um, thieves, and maybe folks on the periphery. Maybe they're selling, insurance independently or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe they're selling their wares to a pawn shop or something like that. Okay. Now, his view of the lumpen proletariat, according to Jason Unruhe, was folks that live in a trailer park compared to the labor aristocracy of people that make $75,000 a year. I guess. I mean, that's okay. It's like, I mean, unions are pretty, they don't really exist much in the United States. Yeah. Places like maybe New York or maybe like, the Eastern Seaboard and some West Coast stuff. But it's like, I live in Texas, right to work state, biggin, you know? So I don't really get this whole business that Jason Unruh was going for. And like I say, this is between him and Caleb Maupin, but I figure I would give my 2 cents on it because it's just like, I mean, when people talk about decolonization of the United States, I just don't fully believe them. I don't believe them because number one is that these are folks that have, I mean, it is true though that they have lost their connection to, their elders, if you will. If you want to look at the indigenous side of things, whether it's the Cherokee, the Comanche, the Squamish, whichever, you know. So I mean, when I hear this, there's a lot of this noble savage stuff that goes on when these types of folks talk about indigenous tribes, and it's very fetishistic in my view. I am part Native American. I haven't mentioned it because ultimately I'm 1/16th. That's why I don't talk about it. I'm pretty much just a cracker. That's why I just call myself a white dude, because I'm 1/16th Squamish. You can look that up. That's Washington State. But I'm not, I'm far removed from that. That's why I don't bring it up. But it's like in general, when folks want to talk about decolonization, okay. But the thing is, though, I've repeated this over and over, but it's like, it just seems like LARP to me. The thing is, Jason, I know that you are getting more involved with the anarchists and you have abandoned a lot of your points, such as when Marx said, well, the lumpen proletariat are not revolutionary. And he says, I fully disagree with that. You think that they, apparently lumpen are going to pick up the guns and start a revolution. Why? Why would they want to do that? It's like in general, they just want to improve their conditions. But to think that they are going to take up arms and, take up the red banner and say, yes, socialism, to each according to his ability, according to one's need and all. I don't think that's possible. It's like, look, to think that, I don't know. I just don't hold that view. Maybe I'm just too much of a cracker who's lived as a lower middle class person too long, I guess. But I just don't see that happening. It's like they'll give lip service to the idea. They'll say, yeah, we're socialists. Hell yeah, we're going to overthrow stuff. But it's like, if you think that somehow they aren't going to just be like, we don't give a shit about what you have to say. And realistically, we're going to do what the fuck we want. Yeah, that's what I would do. I'll be honest with you. I would give lip service and be like, yeah, I'm a socialist. Hell yeah. And then when I take over, I'm pretty comfy. I don't really care what happens. You know, there are plenty of folks who give lip service to these ideas, but don't actually believe them. It makes me upset when I see this type of stuff, man. It's like, he will talk shit about the United States endlessly. It's like, yeah, there's plenty to criticize. I'm not going to sit here and say it's wrong, but it's like, why is it that you don't talk about your own country of Canada? Why don't you talk about that? I've said this before, but it's like, if you did a survey, you pick out 10 random videos over, the thousands of videos that he's made. How many has he done about Canada? I don't know. Like I say, maybe that's just a straw man argument, but it's like, okay, how many times have you brought this up? I don't get it, to be honest with you. I don't understand it. Once again, it appears that, once again, Jason Unruhe, I think overall, has a crisis of faith, if you will. There, as I put it in heretical Christian terms, but he has a crisis of faith of Marxist-Leninism. He still likes Mao to a point, but I think in general he doesn't believe the words of Marx and Lenin and see them as outdated and, do not relate to the material conditions, which may be true, which actually they are true. But the thing is that imagine just thinking that, well, decolonization is going to be better. It's like, no, the neo-libs are already doing decolonization, if you want to say it that way. You've got, once again, neo-libs will say, well, yeah, we have decolonization. We have less white people. And of course, people will still see that as white supremacy because they ultimately support the white supremacist system, if you want to put it in terms like that. But it's like, I genuinely don't understand this point of view where it's just like, well, yeah, decolonization and these various tribes and these brown people. It's like, you don't give a shit about these people. I really don't think you do. It's like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just disappointed. I hope y'all enjoyed that brief rantioli, and I look forward to the comments and look forward to, probably a little bit of the hate. Not too bad, but I'll probably get a little bit. Hope y'all enjoy that. See you later. Goodbye.